All right, so it is the night before the Hawaii Kai Ultra. I've been signed up actually for like 8 months. Tomorrow's finally the day. It is a qualifying race for the Hurt 100, which is a race that I have wanted to do for as long as I have known about it, which is a very long time. So I'm super psyched to have the opportunity to hopefully qualify. Definitely feeling pretty good. You know, it was a long week at work, but I'm not injured, which is great. Hopefully it stays that way tomorrow. Super psyched to bring you guys along. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Ew. All right, it's 4:30 in the morning. It's race day. Just tying up some of the last things here. Making sure I've got all my stuff. Well, all my stuff's in the car already, but making sure I have all the extra little last minute things that I need. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm a little sore. It's all nerves. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna be good. Just gotta get there and get rolling. All right, it has begun. Mile 1 of 100. It's gonna be a trip. I'm on kind of the midpoint of my second lap of 30. There's nobody around. The sun's still not up. It's pretty nice out here. It's kind of breezy. It's not too high yet, although it's gonna warm up today. Already got rained on. I don't know, 100 miles on the road. Yeah, buddy. It's a beautiful morning. About to hit mile 10. Still feeling pretty good, although I'm gonna pop a Motrin here at the end of this lap. But yeah, not too bad. So yeah, in these races I like to think about my life holistically, and I have a lot of successes and I've had a lot of failures, and I basically have to decide if I want today to be in the success column or in the failure column, and I've decided it's going to be a success column no matter what. All right, I'm about a fourth of the way through, just about 2 miles shy of a fourth of the way through. Man, I tell you what, I feel good right now, but it can always change, you know, with these ultras, as with life. You kind of got to ride the highs and then just get through the lows. I've already been kind of going up and down, but that's totally normal with these things. So just got to keep pushing forward. Just kind of grit your teeth when it sucks and enjoy it when it feels good. And just know that the troughs, the low points will eventually end, and there will be another high point. But you just gotta keep pushing forward. Sun's out, it's getting hot, but it's not too hot. Doesn't feel too bad. Having a good time so far. I'm 33 miles into this journey, and kind of up and down. I feel like I'm moving pretty slowly, but I'm actually not doing too bad. Can't figure out for the life of me where I'm gonna finish, but partly because I don't know if I'll be able to hold this pace the whole time. So it's kind of a toss up there. I was thinking like, man, you know, if I would have opted for the 50K, I'd be done. But that's super lame. I'm not a 50K kind of guy. There's nothing wrong with 50Ks. But I'm a chips in kind of guy, which means go big, go 100, or don't do it at all. And that's what I'm doing. In it for the long haul. Good times. Just hit 50 miles. Sun's starting to go down, which is really nice. It's been really hot today. And yeah, still moseying, cruising right along, pretty psyched. Excited for the sun to go down and the race to really begin. Pretty stoked. All right, I'm just over 60 miles, thinking probably close to 61 right now. I'll be at 63 after this lap. It's been dark for 2 hours. And first I had stomach issues when it got dark, and then now my legs are killing me. But still pushing forward, because that's all you can do. Just gotta keep moving forward. This is when it gets hard. All right, so obviously that video ended pretty abruptly. It was a really interesting day. So little recap on the race. It was the Hawaii Kai Ultra running race. Essentially, it was like 20 bucks, super cheap. Honestly, like really well done for how inexpensive it was. And there really weren't that many runners. In the 100-mile category, it was just me and one other dude. And he started at like midnight on Saturday morning. I started at 5:36 in the morning. So, you know, huge time difference there. I was actually making pretty good progress on this guy. And, as you saw just now, like I did pretty well, like filming incrementally, just breaking out the GoPro, saying a couple things here and there. But as time progressed, I started to get more in the zone, and it was just kind of moving, making progress, and I stopped thinking about the camera. I ended up pulling the plug at 77 miles. And it wasn't that I couldn't have continued, it was just that the manner in which I would have been continuing was not up to par with my expectations. So, I was worried about injury. It was a really hard surface. It was on the road, actually. And I'm not quite used to that many miles on pavement and asphalt. It just started to really mess my feet up, and I was just feeling it. So, I pulled the plug. I could have death marched the last 23 miles, but I really wasn't feeling that. Another, 8 to 12 hours of walking, basically. It just didn't seem all that great. So I pulled the plug at 18 hours and 24 minutes and 77 miles. But I don't have any remorse. I don't have any, regret of backing out there at the end. It really was it was a strong showing for me, and I'm proud of what I accomplished. So basically, I managed to bag 3 PRs in this event. So the first one was a 50-mile PR. I ran in 11 hours and 3 minutes actual time, like running time. Not like when I was moving, but literally like from when ready, set, go until 50 miles was 11 hours and 3 minutes. So, I was stopping to stretch and roll out pretty much every lap, and the laps were 3.34 miles. So, I was stopping to eat some things. Like I wasn't like continuously going. So 11 hours, I was pretty excited about that. My previous time was like 13 hours actual time, maybe 13 and a half. So great improvement there. Second PR was the 100K, was my 100K PR. That was just a few hours later. So I think I have to look. I think it was like 14 hours or something. So it took me like 3 hours to go another. I think that's right. I'll have to look. But anyway, it was significantly faster than my previous PR for 100K. And I was super psyched on that. And then the big one, and this is really the big one, is that I literally ran 70 miles. I did not have to power walk or death march, as they say, anything until like 71. So that was cool. That was really cool. What happened between 70 and 71, I don't really know, but the wheels definitely fell off. I ended up death marching, and I call it death marching because like anybody that does ultra running knows there's a difference between like walking and still having like the ability to run and death marching. Death marching is like you can't run anymore. Maybe your stomach's messed up, maybe your your legs stop working, everything locks up. So I was having stomach issues pretty much the whole race, and which wasn't fun. But I was managing, and also, my legs felt great. Like I literally had like a thought at like mile like 60. I'm like, man, like I feel really good right now. Like I feel like I can keep doing this for another 40 miles. And then I went 10 more, and then the wheels just kind of fell off. And death marched to 77, and it was like 1 in the morning, and I'm like,
I don't want to death march 23 miles. Like, it's not that far, but it's far, you know? Like, when you've already gone 77, you're like, oh, what's 23 more? What's 23 more? Maybe when you're running and when it's like stuff's actually on the line. But there really wasn't anything on the line, and I felt like I was just going to injure myself if I kept going. So I just decided to stop. Those might be excuses. I'm sure some people will be like, oh man, you should have just continued. It's only, 8 hours of your life. It's only 12 hours of your life. But it's not really about that. I want to legitimately run 100 miles. I don't, and that might not be realistic, but, I want to limit the walking, literally run it, and not, my goal going into it was to have a strong showing. It wasn't necessarily to like finish. Like, I'm going to finish at all costs. Like, I will never say that in ultra, because you can really ding yourself up. And like, I'm the kind of person, it's like, I don't mind getting injured, but I hate being injured. And when I have like a choice, like, I'm going to keep going and probably get injured. My Achilles was super tight on my right leg. My knees were on fire. My feet are super bruised right now. I'm about to lose a toenail. I mean, normal ultra stuff, like nothing super intense, but still, stuff was adding up. And, I don't care about like the small stuff, like the bruised feet and the toenails. It's more like my Achilles. I was like, man, like this thing, it's hurting pretty good. Like, I don't really want to push this too far. Cause I finish a random 100-mile event, that qualifies me for a race that's in a year and a half that I'll have other qualifying opportunities for, but blow my Achilles up. It's like, okay, well, that's a long recovery, if it were actually blown, and it just didn't seem worth the squeeze. So that's why I pulled the plug. And honestly, I had no regrets. In January, when I got pulled at mile 80 at the Coldwater Rumble 100, I was devastated, man. Like, I death marched 40 miles on that race, and it took me like 12 hours or 16 hours to go 40 miles. I ran 40 and death marched 40, and I got pulled for missing a time cut. But like, that was devastating, because I was like super committed to finishing that one. But I've done some ultras since then, some virtual ones in 2020, 50K and 50 miler, and then some other long runs. And like, you realize that, like, like it's attainable, 100's attainable, but it's not like life or death, like end all be all of life. Like, there's a lot more to life than finishing a 100-mile race. Although, I think persevering is very important. I think like enduring some pain and stuff is important. But when it comes to like being dumb or just being like tough, I will, if I had to finish that race, if something was like on the line, like, yeah, I would have just death marched. I would have walked, I would have crawled, I'd done whatever I had to do. But there was nothing on the line, and I had already PR'd 3 times, and I was like, I'm content. Like, let's stay healthy. Yesterday was kind of rough. Like, I definitely was having trouble walking around. My feet were super swollen and everything was kind of locked up still, but I just got off the bike. I rode for 30 minutes and everything's loosening up. So I'll be back at running here in probably a couple days, definitely back in the pool tomorrow. All is good, I'm going to go do it again at some point in the future and finish, hopefully have a little bit better training plan going into it. But yeah, I'm psyched. I thought it was a good showing. I thought it was a fun. Yeah, beyond that, I'm just psyched. Like, I'm thankful. I was thankful for the experience, and I'm thankful to have PR'd. I'm thankful to have improved, and I'm just going to continue working and continue pushing forward. And someday, the 100-mile check, 100-mile box will be checked, and you just got to keep a level head and keep it all in perspective, because it's important, it's important to not blow it out of proportion and be devastated that I didn't finish this race. It's like, yeah, like, it's all good, man. It's all good. So anyway, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I know it's a little different than what I normally put out, which is like 100% surf content, but I'm a multifaceted human being. I like doing a lot of things. I got a lot of interests, and I figure it won't hurt to push other stuff out too. So hope you enjoy it. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any tips and tricks to getting past mile 80 in an ultra, because that's as far as I have gone, is 80 miles. So I was 3 short this time of my old personal farthest distance traveled. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'll see you next time. Ew.